What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Jalen Talks Sports. We are so back, baby. It's been a minute. I had to finish off my semester at school, but I'm off for like a good month, so I have time. I'm not busy. I can drop some videos now. And the first video I wanted to make was this Lane Kiffin decision. Because guess what? The boy is going down south to the boot. LSU, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, to become the next coach of the Tigers. And this decision was extremely polarizing because no one was sure what he was going to do. Lane Kiffin downplayed his interest in going to Florida or LSU. It was mainly, this is where I want to be. I'm trying to finish out the season here. And then, some people are like, he's going to leave. He's going to leave. He's going to leave. And I was like, he could leave. He probably should leave. But it's not looking like he will leave. He seems like he really does want to stay at Ole Miss, which is probably why the fans are so mad with him right now. And they have every right to. This is your head coach, and he's led you to your best season that you've had in a very long time. And you believe that you can keep up this momentum. You believe that if Lane Kiffin stays, maybe we can win a national championship within the next couple of years. Do I believe that? No, that's not happening. But don't be mad at me, Ole Miss fans. That's just the reality of the situation. You can say college football has evolved as a sport where it is possible for a team like Ole Miss to really reach the top of the mountain and become the national champions. Does Lane Kiffin see it as such? I think not. As we can see through Lane Kiffin's career, he's a little bit of an opportunist. So before he became the head coach at Tennessee, he was the offensive coordinator. And before that, he was a positions coach at USC. And then he became the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders, which was then the Oakland Raiders. And as you can see, Lane Kiffin likes to take opportunities if he thinks they're better than his current opportunity. He didn't work out with the Raiders, so he went to Tennessee. Then he left Tennessee literally after one season because USC was a bigger job, a bigger program, and a bigger brand. And then, he got fired after having a really short, bad season in 2013. And he went to Alabama after that, became their OC, won a national championship or two. And then he decided, let me be bold and go to Florida Atlantic. And this is where the new personality of Lane Kiffin comes in, where you can no longer see him as just an opportunistic person, but he develops somewhat of a savior complex. What is a savior complex? A savior complex is when you believe that if you come into the picture, you can basically save what's not going right. Example, you find a homeless person on the street, right? And you say, I'm rich. I can turn this girl's life around. So you take them in, right? And you say, okay, I'm gonna get you cleaned up. I'm gonna get you off whatever you're on. I'm gonna get you a job. I'm gonna get you on your feet. We're gonna do a makeover, whatever it may be. And after that, you do all these things. This person gets a job. This person looks better. They're cleaner. They're off the street now. And you feel it's because of me. It's because of me that you are now in the position that you are in. And Lane Kiffin is kind of doing that with his coaching career with Florida Atlantic and Ole Miss. He goes into these situations that weren't really that great. Teams that weren't the biggest teams, teams that don't have that same type of notoriety. And he flips the program around. As you can see, he's getting a lot more of these 10 win, 11 win seasons. And it's like, okay, you're turning it around. But is it impressive because they are winning games, or is it impressive because of where he is winning games? And that's the controversy with Lane Kiffin. Is he really even that good of a head coach? Or is what he's doing impressive to us because you don't expect him to do these things in these places that he's at. That's the power of the current day of college football. The NIL, the the money for the players, right? You can get a really good player to come to Ole Miss instead of Alabama now because I can pay you more than Alabama because you're just a number at Alabama, but you're everything to us, right? But imagine I throw you all this money. I say, Lane, I want you to run my program. And I'm going to give you all this money for yourself and your family. I'm going to give you all this money to land recruits. More money that you'll ever get at Ole Miss. And you're coming to a bigger brand. And that's when you make this type of decision. Call him Baton Rouge. Lane Kiffin is coming home. Not home. That's not his home. But he's coming home now. This is home. This is where I'm going. And this is a very simple decision for Lane Kiffin. He says, "Yeah, I had a really good season at Ole Miss, but I can have an even better season at LSU. Because guess what? I have more talent at my disposal. I have more money at my disposal, and I have a bigger brand at my disposal. Things I didn't have at Ole Miss. Ole Miss, I was able to be the savior. LSU is down in the dumps right now. LSU hasn't been good for about 5, 6 years now. Where you really like, yeah, LSU's like that. This hasn't been like that since Joe Burrow left the team and they won that national championship with Ed Orgeron. So now he's gonna say, "I'm Lane Kiffin. I saved Florida Atlantic. I'm Lane Kiffin. I turned around Ole Miss. LSU's offering me a whole lot of money, and I can do a whole lot of more with LSU." And the decision became extremely clear. But there's a lot of controversy surrounding his decision because of how it all went down. We're hearing like two sides of a story where Lane is like, yes, I am going to LSU, but I told the athletic director that I want to stay and coach the college football playoff for Ole Miss and then I'll leave. And he's saying the players want me to do that because it would present them with the best possible opportunity to win. And then the AD for Ole Miss is like, nah, none of that happened. I talked to him and I said, you either stay here at Ole Miss or you go to LSU and you leave now. This is me putting my foot down. And the players apparently didn't even talk to Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin just left. So you get put in a weird situation, media wise, and fan speculation, because none of us are in these rooms. The media's not in these rooms. I'm not in these rooms. Students, the fans, the alumni, they're not in these rooms. It's the AD, it's Lane Kiffin, and it's the players. And we are none of those people. So then you have to pick a side sort of thing. You have to pick your side. Where it's like, I believe what Lane Kiffin said. I believe that he wanted to stay. And I do believe he probably did want to stay. But you have to agree with the AD in some aspect of it and say, you are deciding to leave us after our best season ever. And you want to stay and come coach us for the college football playoffs? You think you're entitled to this? And then you're just going to walk and leave. Why should I let you have this opportunity after we gave you everything? We gave you everything. So is this a good decision for LSU? I'm not talking about Lane Kiffin. This is a great decision for Lane Kiffin. You have more resources, you have more money, you have a better program, you have everything at your fingertips. This is a tier one job if there was tier six. If there was six tiers, this would be a tier one job, and Ole Miss would be a tier three job. Because this is different. It's like you go from being the mayor at FAU to the governor at Ole Miss to the president at LSU. And this is a good decision for him. This is a good decision for LSU. And that's a hard thing to say because Ole Miss, they haven't really done anything but win. They won games, but they haven't won. And Lane Kiffin, you can say the same thing about him. He hasn't done squat in his career. He's won games. That's regular. But has he won me anything? No. And with a program like LSU, I can drop 10, 9 wins a season every year. But will I bring you a national championship? Will I bring you an SEC championship? Once you don't do that, bye. On to the next. That's what happened with Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly's not a bad head coach. Brian Kelly's a bad person, but he's not a bad head coach. And he didn't deliver. And they said, okay, bye. With a program like LSU, just winning games isn't enough. You have to win everything. And can Lane Kiffin do that? We will see. And if he's able to do that, great move. But if he isn't, we're just back to the drawing board again. So that's what I had to say on the Lane Kiffin decision. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think down below. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.